pledge allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show 4 of the board members are present, and Supervisor Shea is on the phone. Can I get a motion on the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, we have Matt Wyatt, Director of Planning and Development, discussion and/or decision to accept Parlay Consulting Firm proposal for Potawatomi County opioid plan.
Thank you for having us here today. I have Beth Morstedt with Parlay Consulting with us. I also have Madhu, Maria, and Jordan from the Public Health Department as well. Potawatomi County is in receipt of settlement funds from the opioid settlement to the state of Iowa. Mitch, Maria, and I have attended several different meetings on what those funds can be utilized for in Potawatomi County. And out of that, I would say that our first step really needs to be is the development of a Potawatomi County opioid plan. We need to understand who the partners are in it and what effects the opioids have had in Potawatomi County to make sure that we utilize the funds in the best manner that we can for the residents of Potawatomi County. The study aspect of it would really coincide with public health and how we do our community health improvement plans once every 3 years. So we have a lot of the mechanics put into place for development of a study and a plan like this. And Parlay would really be kind of that great partner to help us facilitate it and put it all onto paper for us. It would end up being a living document that would be reviewed annually to make sure that we're staying within the parameters of the plan. And then probably once every 3 years, along with our community health improvement plan, we would go through and do revisions to it to make sure that we're staying up to date on it. I think that right now, what we're seeing a lot of in Potawatomi County is probably a lot of the downstream pieces of it are put into place. This is going to kind of help propel us and be an upstream part in this. We want to be able to catch people before they head into an opioid misuse situation and do our best to educate the public, make referrals to the right systems. This is going to be not a small effort either on any part. You have partners in almost every facet of life in Potawatomi County, from law enforcement, first responders, healthcare, schools, and that schools, and we're talking about all levels of schools. You have rural, you have urban, you have different nonprofits that are out there doing things. And then you also have to capture that real life experience of people who are stuck in the cycle of the opioid misuse. And so that's when, it really kind of, the whole dynamic of that really pulls it out of what our staff is able to do on their own and why we need to bring in a consultant to help us out on this. And so that is what we're here to ask for funding for today.
You got anyone else want to talk about? Maria?
I'm excited to partner with Potawatomi County and Matt specifically and his team. As many of you know, I used to help run the mental health and substance abuse network here in Southwest Iowa. And so I have some relationships and knowledge about the community. During the last couple of years during COVID, my husband and I did buy property out in Potawatomi County out by Walnut. And so it's a beautiful acreage south of town. But really, our team, I started Parlay about 5 years ago. There's 8 of us on payroll. And this is right up our alley and the skills and expertise that my team can bring to the community to really help be forward-thinking and also talk about what are the capacity needs to be successful in the implementation of the opioid plan, knowing that it can really make some impact on lives and families, and wanting to really help first responders in our community to help support individuals that are really struggling.
Okay, thank you.
Mitch, what is the amount of expected opioid funds in Pot County, do you know?
So, assuming that there's no other settlements, but we think there'll probably be a few more. I think the grand total, which was over, 15 years, was 3.2 million. We've received 710 of it so far. Collectively, we'll probably end up getting, I think we're gonna average about $110,000 a year. We can kind of consistently know that we're gonna get over the next 12 years. That's kind of a varying and fluctuating formula at times, a little bit, so.
Which phase are you looking at here, Matt? The research phase?
I would like to be able to designate funding for both phases right now.
Do you?
Matt, what's the cost for both phases?
$126,805.
For both phases?
That would be for phase 1 and phase 2, yep.
Okay. I would make the motion to approve hiring these people.
I'll second.
Okay.
Are you working with any other counties?
Not currently,
Sir.
not specifically to the opioid plan. I work with other counties and work stuff, but not specifically to this topic.
You got a question?
Yeah, so these programs are geared towards helping drug abusers in Potawatomi County. Did I understand that?
No, this is an action plan that would tell us what programs are out there that are helping people struggling with abuse issues.
Okay.
But then it's also going to provide a prevention and educational piece that stops people from getting to that point.
Okay, how about stopping other states from sending their drug abusers to Council Bluffs and Potawatomi County and the charitable organizations we have in this town, which is a draw. I understand, I've talked to the Council Bluffs City Police Department, and it is a problem. Outside entities, whether states or even across the river in Omaha, are sending those drug abusers over here to Council Bluffs to our charitable organizations. But they become a problem because they don't stop their drug abuse at any point, a lot of them anyway. You see them wandering downtown Council Bluffs. So when you talk about, overall, is there any way to stop that from continuing in Potawatomi County?
I think that the study would tell us exactly how bad that problem is.
Okay, that's what I'd like to know. That's
Yes.
really what I'd like to know. Because I'm gonna be taking, like I said, I haven't yet, but I am gonna be taking rides with our law enforcement agencies and see what the problem is firsthand. And it is a problem.
And the law enforcement agencies are gonna have a lot of input in on this. So is our fire departments, both in the city of Council Bluffs, but also the rural volunteer fire departments that are in there. And just reading through some of the other counties that have put together plans like this, one of the big things that comes out of it is training for county personnel.
Okay.
And so, that could be a portion of that.
Did, the potential use, the number that's up there, would increase, small increment, but the $10 gift card thing, did we run all that through legal if that's something that we're able to do?
We've done that from public health since the inception on different incentives like that, through grant programs to be able to
Survey
get
people?
public participation involved.
That number's allowable to do,
Mhm.
okay. And you define that to one individual or one family then, or something?
Correct.
What are the gift cards usually? MasterCard or Visa or something?
Yeah, sometimes they're like Hy-Vee gift cards or Visa gift cards, things like that. Casey's generally is a lot of them.
Okay,
Everybody needs gas.
okay. That's good. Okay, any other?
Matt? Yeah, I'd like to thank Matt for bringing this forward because we got one shot at this opioid money, and I want to make sure we do it right, and I think this is the right thing to do. So thank you, Matt. I appreciate you bringing them forward. I call for a vote.
I just wanted a question on the deliverables. Beth, when do you expect the reporting, the deliverables to be coming out?
Yeah, they'll come out as services are completed. We do expect with the amount of discussion and involvement that we're hoping to get, that it will take some time, meaning probably a good close to a year. And so, but as deliverables come out, and then we'll do an executive presentation towards the end of that time to you all and to the Public Health Board about what has come out and what's the action plan look like.
And for transparency, to be very clear to everybody as this process is ongoing, is gonna be that development of the dashboard that's
Yeah.
out there. So that way, at any point in time, you're gonna be able to see right where we're at in this process.
Okay, because the statement of work's got a 1-year expiration on it, and I know you said it was a living document. It's on the very last page, and shall expire on August 31st, 2024. I just wanted to make sure we would have the deliverables before the expiration of the contract and renewal of the contract.
You know, I appreciate you bringing that forward, and that's a good observation. I guess if I would recommend maybe moving it to December 31st, just to give us some leeway, if you're comfortable with that, or else we can keep it as August 31st.
This will be starting in October. If we
Yeah.
get the funding, we'll be starting in October
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Hot and heavy.
Yep, so I would say August 31st of 2024, if that's okay for you all to make that correction.
To extend it to December 31st,
Yep.
2024?
Yep.
Does everybody see that on page 16 of their contract?
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Thank you.
You okay with this, Mitch?
so it's, do we need to
Vote.
amend that?
Would you like me to amend the motion?
I would hope so, I think.
Okay, then let's make the same motion with the extension of the contract to December 31st, 2024.
Okay, and the second concurs.
I'll second.
Well, I already have, do you concur, Susan?
Yes,
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
concur, yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like
Aye.
sign. Hearing none. Motion passes. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Next up, we got John Rasmussen, engineer. Discussion and/or decision to set date and time to open bids for the Potawatomi County Secondary Roads FY '24 bridge materials for September 19, 2023 at 10 a.m.
Yes, in your packet, there's a map. We're looking to buy 4 steel bridges. They're all 60 foot. Kind of buying the same bridge. We're gonna construct it 4 times. One in Hazeldale Township near Crescent, another one between Oakland and Underwood, rural area, another near Walnut and Griswold. Kind of spread over the county, but it's just the same bridge, same size. So we'll take the bids for materials. Kind of helps us with our bookkeeping. We have a threshold on constructions. This keeps us under a threshold.
How many people will bid on that, John?
I'll probably mail to 3 or 4 bidders, but probably 1. Let me just get 1.
Any other discussion?
I'll move that for you, Scotty.
Okay, motion
I'll
by,
second it.
I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Brian. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, we got Andy Brown, Sheriff, Jeff Thulin, the Chief Deputy, excuse me, Jim Doty, Sergeant, he's not here, is he?
He's in Vegas right now.
Okay, is he with Darren Budd in Vegas? Or Lieutenant? Darren Budd, Council Bluffs Police Department, discussion and/or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign resolution number 55-2023 entitled A, resolution authorizing the chairman of the Board of Supervisors to sign an interlocal agreement between the County of Potawatomi and the City of Council Bluffs with respect to the 2023 Briar Justice Assistance Grant Program Award. Andy, you're up.
First off, I want to give a shout out to Jim Doty because he's in Vegas right now for the National Crime Convention right now. Him and Tony Oliver and Ryan Davis, the ones that solved the Kerry Farber case, are
Yeah.
representing their case in Vegas right now too.
Okay.
The national stage, so good for them for their work. So,
Yep.
Of course, this is our J grant we do every year. I think it's been going on for 10+ years. It's just essentially federal funding that they give to us as long as we spend money on, investigative tools. I think in the last few years we bought city cameras and servers and, just equipment like that, pole cameras. So it's, the money of course goes to you. It's not a huge amount of money, but as long as we can show that we actually paid for legitimate investigative material, so.
Go ahead.
Are those funds going down, Andy?
I think it's been consistent around $25,000 to $30,000 a year is what we get. Each agency gets that amount, so. Usually springtime, because what has to be spent, of course, I think by usually the fiscal year in July. So usually spring is about when they come and say like, hey, we got about $20,000, can we buy this equipment? And then we usually just go forward with that, so.
I'll move that for you, Scott.
Okay. Motion made
I'll
by.
second.
Second by Shay. Any other discussion?
So how many years have we been doing this?
Well, of course, I've only been in office for, this will be my
I
third.
think we've done
essentially,
it for 20
program that's been
years,
going on
maybe even before.
10,
We were doing it.
25 at least,
All right.
maybe more.
Long time.
Yeah, it's, it's been a long time and the money's went down a little bit. I don't know do you know what the number is this year?
I think last year we got almost 28,000, I think, last year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Chairman Pro Tem Belt,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Jorgensen,
Aye.
Shay.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Next up, Andy Brown, Sheriff, discussion and/or decision to reappoint John Dalton to the Compensation Board.
yep. So, of course, we know that, we found out that our, comp board members were all expired for their contracts, and I know we've been emailing back and forth, but I think Susan has a good idea of spreading out the contracts for to the 2, 4, and 6 years. So what your email said, I think just.
That was for the other board. That was for the Civil Service Commission.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This one's just,
I misread that. So yes, I still think, John Dahl will be representation for me for the conference board, so.
Wait a minute.
What was I thinking?
This is for the Civil Service Commission.
No, it's, I thought it was for this, I didn't read it close enough. I thought it was Civil Service Commission. It's not. It is compensation.
No, this is the Comp Board.
yeah, Compensation Board.
As your representative.
Yes.
Right.
What, all right, I'll move that for you.
Well, we're gonna need a expiration date on that.
Four-year term?
Are there expiration dates? I don't know.
No, I think this might be a typo. I was thinking it was gonna be for the Civil Service Commission. I don't know why it says compensation board on it.
I think the only reason to have the board approve those members might be to just, so it's written down somewhere. And
But is every other elected have this?
I don't ever remember doing that.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
he's been the sheriff's representative for a long time.
Correct.
You might want to just amend your, motion to say Civil Service Commission rather
No,
than county.
no.
No, you're not ready
It's
for that.
different. Civil Service Commission is different, and those representatives are appointed by the Board of Supervisors and the county attorney.
Right.
I don't understand why we're just doing one. Do you mind if we hold this off, Andy?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna table this till next time?
Is that all right?
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't have till December anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I was wondering
But
why
we
we
Do
do
a little
need to-
research and see that
Yeah,
even
the
needs to
civil
be
service
done.
commission members, we need to get them in because our testing's in October, so we need them on by then, so.
Okay,
Do we need to withdraw that motion?
I don't think anybody made
Well, it died for lack of second.
Okay.
okay, moving on, Steve Winchell, Captain Jail, discussion and or decision on pay for certified medication aid candidate.
Steve's training his jail transport teams this morning, so I'm gonna try to step in here. We posted for certified medication aides in the jail. The issue, and Garfield was involved in it, and I know some of the board members, we've talked to you about it, to try to get the nurses out of the pill distribution business, which they spend a considerable amount of time every day doing. That would allow the nurses to be down in booking to triage everybody that walks through the jail. And as you guys are well aware, we had issues with that, so that people get inside the jail and they're medically cleared when they go up to the floor. So, we came to you previously for these med aids, they were approved, they've been posted. What's happened with this particular position is we've had a person apply from the Glenwood Resource Center. Obviously, that place is closing in 11 months or 10 months. And to say that he is exceptionally qualified would be an understatement. He's been doing it for about 24 years down there and has kind of helped advance their program and design their program. So what we're asking for today is to bring him in on step 10, which would still be a reduction of his salary, but at least compensate him somewhat for his experience and time. We think this guy's going to be integral into designing what this job is, how it works. He's gonna be a great resource to us. So that's what we're asking for today, is just to bring him on at step 10 in that 511 grade, instead of at the entry. And it's a push. It's pretty high, but it's still a cut to pay for him.
What was the wage range on the posting?
I've got, with better glasses, 1841 up to 2416. And he would come in at 23, about $23 an hour. I'll let somebody with better glasses read it.
So you guys put in pictures, you can.
Oh, they're baby boomers. I get it.
So you have that in your budget?
Yes, that's a good number.
Yeah,
23 what?
$23 an hour, yeah. So I think he's still taking $1.30 or $1.40 cut in pay from the resource center, but obviously he's gotta do something because they're closing that place. He wants to stay in government, wants to stay in diapers, obviously. But I think the advantage for us is he can help us design what this job looks like. Because obviously this is a new position for us.
Is there certifications required for this position?
Yes.
And it's only worth 23 bucks?
It's a very, I don't know how I want to describe it. It's an allied healthcare position that, it's like a certified nurse assistant in that range of salaries.
We did look at market data when we created the job and the pay range and looked at other medication aids throughout the city and in Omaha. And as important as the job is, this is the going rate for a medication aid. There is a certification, I don't think it takes maybe 6 weeks, maybe to get. So it's not as though it's, a year-long program or anything like that, but and it has been very difficult recruiting for this position, I'll say. They've had it open for a while. And so to have a good candidate even if we have to pay higher in the range, I think would be well worth it. We just really struggled with the recruitment because, you know, you look at the travel agencies for nurses, they all have med aids and can make lots of money, but they're traveling all over. And so I think this would be a great candidate to hire.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Okay, I'll give Susan the second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Jason Slack, Director of Buildings and Grounds, Andy Brown, Sheriff, Jeff Thulin, Chief Deputy, Mitch Kai, Chief Financial Officer. Discussion and/or decision on signing the letter of form of agreement with HGM for architectural and engineering services for a maintenance building at 1400 Big Lake Road. Take it away, Jason, I guess.
So this agreement is in the amount of $44,000 to provide architectural engineering services to build a maintenance building at the jail. In talks with the city, they're requiring us to have civil drawings and they're requiring us to have our mechanical and electrical drawings for this building, even if it is a pre-manufactured building with architectural stamp drawings. So if we're gonna move forward with a building or even planning a building out there, we're gonna need to find somebody to provide us this service.
Well, we really don't have a choice, do we?
Not really, no.
Is the city gonna require any, with the floodplain, are they gonna require any buildup, or is that part of the 44,000, or?
No, this is just to do the civil drawings for it. So in the mechanical and electrical. So they would establish that at that time during their study. But I don't foresee it needing built up. Nothing else is built up out there.
Jason, HGM, you guys are working with that company quite a bit, right? Is that right?
Yep.
So you have no issues with that outfit?
No.
All right.
Any other questions? Okay,
I'll second.
motion. Mr. Supervisor Wickham and Supervisor Wickman, sorry. And seconded by Supervisor. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, we got Jason Slack, Buildings and Grounds, Andy Brown, Sheriff, Jeff Thulin, Chief Deputy, Mitch Kai, Chief Financial Officer. Discussion and/or decision to purchase pre-engineered building for the jail maintenance division at 1400 Big Lake Road.
So
Pretty much have to do that.
Mitch found this pre-engineered building.
Yeah, so there's a building potential that we have that we could potentially purchase. So the HGM approval wasn't specific to this building, and even this motion isn't specific to this pre-engineered building. That's, in your packet, you see one that is available for sale. I do believe we can get it purchased for under $100,000. The nice thing about this particular one, it's already been located in Council Bluffs, so they could probably actually get started on it and get some stuff done yet this year with the concrete and get the building up, which would be great. But I think the pre-engineered is the way to go for what the kind of the basic needs that that building has to have with it being pre-engineered. With it being less than 100,000, we don't have to put it out for an RFP. So I guess kind of what we'd be looking for here is, with your guys' approval, would be to not to exceed $99,500 on a purchase price of whatever building we decide to go after, if this one happens to be one that doesn't work out.
I will make that motion to approve 99.5.
I'll second.
Supervisor Shea, Supervisor Jorgensen.
Well, it was beneficial to take a tour of the jail facilities to understand the need for this building, and to get it built as soon as possible is what we need to do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that, part of the funding for this building, we're gonna use for forfeiture funds. $100,000 from the attorney, $100,000 from sheriff.
That's correct. So the intent for this project would be $100,000 from the attorneys, $100,000 from the sheriffs, and then we have bond money that we'd already set aside for $180. So basically between the kind of the different phases and getting it up, we'll have that $380,000 to kind of work with as the process goes. But the important part now is to get the building bought, and that's where we set with this particular agenda item.
Okay.
We're not probably gonna see this up this year though, right?
Right. It's possible.
HGM's got, move things along, you think?
Yeah, they said they could begin, work on the engineering, within 10 days.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Up next.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Next up, we have Jason Slack, Director of Buildings and Grounds, discussion and/or decision on paving area for a garbage dumpster on the north side of the courthouse.
So currently where the dumpster is located on the south side of the building is directly outside of the court security garage. In the past, Josh has told us that we need to get that dumpster moved as soon as possible because it's a security risk being right outside the jail door there. We actually want to locate it as far away from the building as possible. I'm proposing to go to the north side of the building. It would give us a 50-foot distance from the dumpster in case somebody was to put nefarious, stuff in there, which would cause damage to the building.
So you're moving it close to secondary roads office.
Well, it's gonna be a good 50 feet away from that office as well. Did you guys get a map? Did that come through? Okay.
I'm looking at it.
Tell me about where the picnic table was.
The picnic table is still there. The picnic table will be to the north of it.
Okay.
There was a tree that's dead there now, is right where it would sit.
Put the dead tree in the dumpster.
Push it to your left.
And I think this has been a major security concern years ago, and Jason has been pushing this trash can around, and the sheriff department, has been trying to work with Jason on the security, bringing inmates in and out of that area, so, I think this is gonna be a pretty good permanent fix for that trash can.
Why wasn't this planned out with the original design?
It was something that got overlooked, I think, in the process. I know that, eventually I'd like to get the thing fenced in. But yeah, I think it was just an oversight, from 3 years ago. Initially, that dumpster was located over in the services building parking lot, and now obviously the services building was demolished. So there's parts of this plan that have evolved since then.
It can't be much, but do you have a cost involved?
Yeah, should be in your packet.
Yeah,
It is
about $7,000.
$7,293. This is from Mecco Henny Construction, and they said that their subcontractor's gonna be here to pour the parking lot here this week. They would be able to get going on this right away.
Is that in your budget, Jason?
It is not.
What do you propose we pay for that?
Do we have funds in urban renewal?
I would suggest that we continue to use that.
That was urban renewal?
Renewal bond, that's, the funding for all the
Courthouse improvements.
Courthouse improvements in addition right now.
Okay.
It's on the campus.
I'll make the motion that we proceed with this bid for $7,293.
I'll second.
Susan. Supervisor Miller, thank you. Supervisor Ferguson, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, we have David Byer, Chief Information Officer, Informational Technology, and Craig Carlson, Public Relations, Human Resources, discussion and/or decision to approve website development proposal with Neapolitan Labs for county website refresh.
Good morning. So this is a project we've been working on for a while. We're working with Neapolitan to get us an agreement or proposal for refreshing the website, also merging some other sites into the main county website to make a cohesive site that would have most of our departments on the main site. Also to unify the branding that we've gone through over the last roughly year. It also includes refreshes to the site itself. So Neapolitan has worked with us for 5+ years now, and since they started with our county, they've done dozens of other county websites, and so there are opportunities to get some of that information from, or some of those developments from other county websites into ours, since it's been 4 or 5 years since we pushed this current one out. So lots of new additions and lots of changes and lots of features. I shot you guys an email with some of those details. The project is $50,000, which is in the IT budget, is exactly what I put in there for this project. Annually, support would be $9,000, which wouldn't be due for till next fiscal year anyway. So that's those are the details. Several of the representatives from those other department pages that would be merged in are here as well to support the project. So it's a lot of people involved. It's a big deal. It's our digital front door to our county. We got hundreds of thousands of users on this website every day, or every month, I'm sorry. And so it's a big deal. It's how we help citizens get the services they need without having to come to the courthouse. So this is a big deal. And so we're looking for your support to go forward with the Apollo Science project.
Can you tell me those dollar amounts again?
$50,000 for the rebuild, and then $9,000 annually. But that's not for this fiscal year. That'll be next fiscal year.
Is that your recommendation, Andrew?
Yep.
Greg?
Yes.
Garfield?
Of course.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Miller.
I'll second
Motion. Supervisor Jorgensen, second. Any other discussion?
Yeah, the $9,000 annual maintenance fee, David, that is not in your budget, right?
It would be for next fiscal year, so I would ask to add it when it's time for budget reviews.
Is that
Currently, we pay $3,500 a year. Currently, we pay $9,000 a year right now, but it's strewn through 5 different departments. So next fiscal year, it would still be $9,000. It would just come out of the IT budget instead of the other departments.
Is that something that you can spend out of your recorder's special fund, Andrew?
No.
Probably not the way Brian wants to invoice it going forward. We'd have to leave it how it currently is, or each department who has a standalone site with them pays. But Brian is looking to do one invoice and have IT pay the yearly maintenance.
Well, I was thinking that you could pay the yearly maintenance out of your recorder's fund.
I don't think I can do the whole thing.
Oh. Just checking.
Nice try.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you
Next
very
up,
much.
we have Jana Limerick, Director of Human Resources, and/or Mark Shoemaker, Director of Conservation. Discussion and/or decision to approve new job description and pay for the position of chairlift attendant at Mount Crescent. Move right into revision to job description pay for the position of hospitality and guest services worker at Crescent.
Good morning.
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 So last year we had a chairlift operator. You had to be 18 years old to operate the chairlift, and we're still having that position, but that position focuses on the mechanics of the chairlift. It was identified that it would be helpful to have a chairlift assistant. This would be 16 years or older. They're not operating the chairlift, but they're accepting the tickets, managing the line, helping people get on and off the chairlift, just to facilitate that whole process. We think that will make that go a lot smoother. So that's what you're looking to approve right now, is the chairlift attendant at $13 to $15 an hour. And that is a new position.
What was it, 13 or 15?
13 to 15. The range is 13.
Oh, 13.
Yes. 13 up to $15 an hour.
Do you think that,
So moved.
I'll second that.
The person in this position is overseen by the site manager and the mechanical operations and maintenance manager, not the chairlift.
Yeah, the chairlift operator isn't necessarily a supervisor per se. They're working together. Of course, they're going to be there, right, at the chairlift, but the site manager has the overall supervision of this person, discipline, hiring, firing, scheduling. So that's why we left that as the site manager.
Mark, do you expect this, or Jeff, do you expect this position to minimize the wait time to get back to the top of the hill?
It's gonna help, definitely, move the people along and help with that, so.
There was, it does get bottled up there
Yep.
a little bit when it's really busy. Well, when it's busy, not really busy, just
Yeah,
when it's
just
busy.
busy, yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, the revision to the job description pay for the hospitality and guest services worker at Mount Crescent.
So what we've done is combined a few of the positions, so the hospitality and guest services worker, and what was the other one?
Front desk.
Front desk, thank you, Jeff. The front desk, and we're putting those together as one position because really felt like they didn't need to be two. You could hire multiple people in that role and they can cross-train to do those same things. And so that's what the revision is on that, is just combining those two roles. We're changing that and suggesting the pay, again, to be $13 to $15 an hour.
I'll move that for you, Jana.
Thank you, Brian.
Supervisor Shea, motion.
And the minimum qualifications has to be 14 at the time of hire in accordance with what Iowa State now allows.
Correct.
You say $14 an hour?
13 to 15.
Looking for a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Supervisor Jorgensen. Any other discussion? Kind of hard to think. We're talking about snow already. Just because it got cool one day.
Yeah. Well, we've already started planning for the hiring.
Yeah,
We have a lot of people to hire, so
Exactly.
yeah, the cool weather does help.
Yeah. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Next up, pay range for the following positions at Mount Crescent: kitchen manager, kitchen staff team lead, kitchen staff team member, chair lift operator, rental shop manager, rental shop team lead, rental shop team member, cleaning and support team member, snowmaking team lead, snowmaking team member, and sports school coordinator.
So although those job descriptions are remaining the same, we would like to raise the pay for those positions this year. They're going up about $2 each, but we can review them. Your ski and snowboard instructors are staying the same. Your kitchen manager is going from $14 to $16 an hour to $18 to $20 an hour. That one's a little bit higher than the $2 increase. Your kitchen team lead is going from $12 to $14 an hour to $16 to $18 an hour. Kitchen team member is going from $11 to $12 an hour to $13 to $15 an hour. Rental shop manager, 14 to 16, is going to 18 to 20. We've raised those managers a little bit higher. Your team lead for rental shop is going from 12 to 13 to 16 to 18. Your rental shop team member is going from 11 to 12 to 13 to 15. Your chairlift operator, so not the attendant, but the operator, is going from 13 to 14 to 14 to 16. Snowmaking team lead is going 15 to 17 up to 16 to 18. Snowmaking team members going from 14 to 16 up to 15 to 17. Your sports school coordinator was at a flat $16 an hour. We'd like a range of 16 to 18. And that's all of them.
So what's the justification for the pay increases?
The justification for the pay increases is multifold. Number one is we know that we're going to be having some rehires. So we'd like to have a little bit of leeway and a little bit more range to be able to hire them a little higher than they were last year because they're already coming back with experience, as well as when we're taking a look at around the area where others can work, especially if you're 14, 15, 16, you can go work at McDonald's and get paid more than what we're offering here. So we wanted it to try to be a little more competitive, although we know that it's still not as high as other jobs around town, but we're really trying to be more competitive with that pay.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it. I have, I have no issues with paying competent people to do what they need to do. And I think it's going to be a growing issue to get competent employees at some point, the way the economy's going.
Correct. Thank you.
The way the job market is, it's getting harder to hire someone.
It really is. And we're hoping with the rehires that come back, because we can offer them a little more than last year, will help with the efficiencies of just how everything runs, because they've already done it for a year, and some of them have worked there prior.
How many work up there during the season?
About 120?
Total, yeah.
Yeah.
A little over.
20, okay.
120.
Any other discussion?
Jeff, I'll have a couple questions for you after.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, next up, we got Jana Limerick, Director of Human Resources, recognize David Byer, excuse me, Chief Information Officer, and Dixie Wilson, Account Technician, for completion of NACO High Performance Leadership Academy.
Okay, well, we've been here a couple times, recognizing our employees for completing this program, and we have 2 more alumni that have completed the program. Again, the NACO High Performance Leadership Academy is an innovative online 12-week program created to equip frontline county government professionals with practical leadership skills to deliver results for counties and their communities. The course was developed in partnership with business executives, public sector leaders, academic professionals, and the leadership principles of General Colin Powell. General Powell said, "Great leaders are almost always great simplifiers who can cut through the argument, debate, and doubt to offer a solution everybody can understand." I can see these skills in both David and Dixie and feel the completion of this program will aid them in providing solid leadership to their peers and quality outcomes for the citizens of Pottawatomie County. General Powell also said, "You can never err by treating everyone in the building with respect, thoughtfulness, and a kind word. Every one of our employees is an essential employee. Every one of them wants to be viewed that way. And if you treat them that way, they will view you that way. They will not let you down or let you fail. They will accomplish whatever you have put in front of them." So we congratulate David and Dixie for their accomplishments in completing this course, and thank the county for continuing to provide and support educational opportunities for our employees.
Congratulations, Dixie, and
you.
congratulations, David. And then, is there something Craig will do for that?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could snap a quick photo with, these two employees and the board real quick. if you don't mind.
Okay. We have want them up here. Oh.
Yeah.
And you do a little feature story for them. Get that in the Daily Non-Paral, which isn't daily anymore.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, David.
Great job.
Thanks,
Good
Dixie.
job,
Thank
Dixie.
you.
Good job, Dixie, David.
I might add that, I don't know about David, but Dixie's been trying to get into any leadership, program she can. She's done one with the city, and if there's a program out there, Dixie takes part.
How many were in your class?
We started out with 20, not every week, not everyone could attend over, because it was, by the internet,
Right.
but, yeah.
What did you have?
We had 12 or 15.
Okay.
Were those cohorts kind of geared around your profession, expertise, or not?
This was geared just towards general leadership.
Right.
Yeah.
So you
There-
didn't,
There is an IT track as well.
Right, right.
Separate.
But, they were from all over the United
All over, yeah,
States.
Arkansas and Mississippi, Alabama,
Yeah,
Minnesota, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we had a couple different IT people in ours. I think our group ended up being like a, add-in, like lots of people who last minute and different things, so we got quite a broad range of different people in our group.
Good.
Dixie, I'm glad you're taking a lot of those leadership programs. Do you live in Potawatomi County?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
It's a nice opportunities. Okay, next up, we got Dixie Wilson, Assistant Finance and Tax Officer, discussion and/or decision to disallow the following applications made to the Assessor's Office for homestead, approximately 5,600 recommended allowed, 28 recommended disallowed, military 135 recommended allowed, 15 recommended disallowed, disabled veterans homestead 35 recommended allowed, 1 recommended disallowed, family farm 25 recommended allowed, and 0 recommended disallowed.
I'll move that for you, Scott. I
Okay.
do have a couple of questions for her, though.
I'll second that.
I'll second that, Tim.
Dixie, I know most of these applications came from the assessor's office, and that has to do with the elderly credit, right?
Correct, the ones.
I want to specifically talk about a couple of the veterans that, the military exemption that didn't qualify.
Okay,
One of them didn't qualify because the application wasn't signed. Did we make any attempt to get this thing signed so they could?
that I have to talk with the assessor's office. They're the ones that accept them and give me the initial allowance or disallowance. So now I know I have questioned before, and they work directly with the Veterans Department of Veteran Services. So I'm assuming they sent out a letter or tried to reach out to the veteran, but I would have to go back to Lauren and Penny and just double check with that.
Okay, I don't think that should be a reason to disqualify because somebody forgot to sign it. We should have made an attempt to get it signed.
Okay.
And then, another one was rejected because the DD 214 wasn't recorded. Did we make an attempt to reach out to them to get that DD 214 recorded?
There again, they're accepted and allowed or disallowed by the assessor's office. So I'll reach out to Penny and Lauren and I'll find out.
Okay, I think those are really petty, and I think they could have been resolved and not been disallowed. That's just my personal opinion. But, I'd like for us to work on that, and if we notice that in the future, try to correct it before we just disqualify them.
Okay. So going forward, if I see something like that, I'll send it back to the assessor's office. And because of course, I can't allow or disallow myself, that determination's made by them. So I'll turn it back to them first and tell them to please try to get it resolved before I take it to the board.
As a veteran, when I was released from active duty, I was given my DD 214 and told at that time to go to the recorder's office in my county and get that document recorded. Now, not every veteran does that or even thinks about doing that. It's just one of those things that might slip your mind. But I'm amazed at how many times I have had to go back and get that document or a copy of that document for other things. I mean, it's for veterans, it's a necessity. It has to be done, in my opinion. So, yeah, and somebody that forgets to do that, I'm sure that they should be or need to be contacted to help them facilitate that.
Okay.
I'll get with, Penny as well.
Next up, yeah, and they can get with the Veterans VA office too.
Did we vote on that?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. An update on board members on committee meetings from the past week. Jeff, you got something?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Susan?
I attended the Google announcement last Tuesday after the board meeting, which was insightful.
Yeah? You didn't get any money, did you?
No.
And, anything else?
No.
Your Menards board cutting today?
I went to board cutting this morning, yes.
Menards is open. Brian, you got anything?
I went to the Google and then I got in vacation mode and I really didn't care.
Okay, thank you. Tim, anything?
No.
No? Okay. Next up, we got public comment.
See no names on the list.
Public? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Supervisor Wickman,
Second.
Supervisor Miller, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, like sign. Motion adjourned. Get a couple signatures here.